This is Erin Fisher, Technology Integration Facilitator for the East Bridgewater Public Schools, and this is an overview of how an educator would first set up Flipgrid to use with their students. Flipgrid is a wonderful site that has now gone free with all of their formerly premium features. And what's great about this is that it allows students to easily respond to prompts or questions with video. And then you as the teacher have a lot of options with what you can do with those videos. Previously, you could only really just display them in the grid and watch them. And now you can actually download them. You could put them all together into a montage. You have different options with time. You have different options with how you can modify the videos and really restrict who sees them and who can comment on them. So it's a great resource. So the first thing we want to do is educator login. And you can log in with Google. Now I already do that, so mine went right to my main page. So now what I suggest is you can now have unlimited grids. Previously with Flipgrid, you could only have one grid and unlimited topics, but now you can have unlimited grids. So it's good to set up a grid for every class because once you give the grid code, the kids can see all of the topics. So if you wanted two classes to respond to the same prompt, but you don't want one class to see the other class's videos, that's where it would come in to have two separate grids. So if I were going to make a grid, I would just simply click New Grid. And I can select my community. And if you're doing this at school, it's good to choose the school email domain because this means that the kids won't need to put in a password. You'll just put in their email domain and they can automatically get in with your code. So this is what I suggest for that. Name your grid. So let's say I was doing this in my Science Blue class. I would call this Science Blue or Blue Science. They're giving me the code here. Now I can try to set up a unique code if I want. However, most likely a lot of the unique ones are probably taken, but you can try it. And then I can select my theme, much like Google Classroom. Now, it's going to automatically set up my grid once I put in the domain. If I'm working at my school, I want to put in my school domain. So for instance, my school domain is a K-12 ebps.net, and then I'm going to separate it with a colon. And I'm also going to put in the ebps.net because that's the teacher domain, just in case I want a staff member to see it. So I need to put my ebps in and the student one in. So now I have both. And I'm going to say launch my grid. And here we go. So you can go take a look at it as a student, but now I'm going to go customize my grid first. When you're making yours, check this out. Once I'm in the grid, I need to make some topics. So here's all my settings. I want to look through this, make sure I have this. Now, here's some good things. Notify me. Do you want to be notified every time you get a video via email? So think about that. Do you want to allow the kids to download their videos? Think about that. Captions. If you want to have followers, I don't leave that on. I leave that off. And then when you want to turn your grid off, if you don't want the kids to have access anymore, you can simply just make it inactive and then launch it again later. If you want to personalize here with your theme, those are all your different themes. Upgrade grid. All right, so now here's my grid. These are the topics in the grid. This is where you set your questions and prompts. So you make the grid first. Think of that like a Google Classroom. And then inside you make the different topics. So this is a default topic. I'm going to delete this because I don't want the kids to make introductions. That's always the default topic, so there's something there. So I'm going to delete it. And now I'm going to make my new topic. This is ideas. It's inactive. You don't need this. If you ever want to make it active, it's just a prompt where kids can give you ideas. I leave that inactive. You can't delete it. It's always there. So we'll do new topic. Let's say I'm going to do a topic title. Let's say it was cells. Okay, I can do a tip. I haven't done that yet. That's new. I can set my time. You have up to 5 minutes, which is actually a pretty long time. Your date, so you can schedule these ahead. And here's your question. You can put a question in here. So, tell me everything you learned about cells. Be sure to use vocabulary. Okay, now you do want this. Put this on. You don't want the students to be able to see each other's videos unless you approve them first. So put that on. So that means nobody will see the videos until you approve them. So that means the student will take the video and submit it to you and then never see it. They're gonna be like, oh, did I really send it? Because they won't see it on the grid. Once you approve it, they'll see it. And that's a really great thing to have. We selected school domain, so the kids won't need a password. They'll still need a code. They just won't need a password to get in. If you ever do this like outside of school with friends, then you would have them enter the grid code and enter a password for privacy. If you want to give them a video to respond to, you could upload or record, add them from YouTube. You can put images, GIFs, and emojis. That's fun, but notice, optional. You can just type your prompt. All right, now, if you want to attach anything, so if you had a Google Doc you wanted to attach with directions, you can. If you want to let them put stickers and drawings on their selfie, because every time they do a video, it has them take a selfie, and that's what shows in the grid. You can do that. If you don't, you can shut that off. You can also limit it. This is kind of fun, so I usually leave it. This you can leave on if you want. Allow them to put in a link if they want. You might not want to do that. Now, I turn this off. I don't let the kids respond to each other, but you can if you want. I turn this off. I turn this off so no one feels bad if their video wasn't watched. You can decide if you want to leave that on or not, a title. I just turn it off. And I turn this off. But it's totally up to you if you want to leave those on. Sometimes you want the kids to respond to each other. And this is nice. You can give feedback. You can grade. So you can do custom and like make a rubric, or you can just do basic. And then you hit create topic. Now this is what you give to the kids. Put that link in Google Classroom. If you want to put the topic in Google Classroom, you can, just the topic or the whole grid. So you can hit share topic, notice right here, share to Google Classroom, and it will throw it right in. And you're going to want to give them the code. That's the code to get into the grid. Okay, and that's an overview of Flipgrid. Let's see what it looks like as a student. So notice that's my code. Let's go view it as a student. So when the students go to Flipgrid, they enter the code right on the main screen. It's going to give it to them right with Science Blue. Because we put the Google domain in, they can just hit login with Google. And they may not even need the flip code because we put the domain in. And it takes them right in. And so they'll just hit the plus and take their video. And that will bring them, that will send the video to you as the teacher, and you will have to approve it. Once you approve it, all the videos will show here, and I'll show you what that looks like. Once you have them, it will look like this. Your grid. Let's see if we can view it as a student. And see, this one I need my code because, or I need my password because I did this outside of school, but you'll have a grid that will look like this. I don't have my password right now. So it'll look like similar to this with a grid, and the kids can watch each other's videos. And that's Flipgrid. It's a great resource. Enjoy.